Hello, everybody. It's Matt Cuts here. We're gonna have to deal with a bit of jank as I turn off these overlays for the draft here. How we all doing? Casting Movistar Liga. It's exciting. Casting some classic South American Dota, which I've been a fan of ever since our boys on. Are they on now? Beast Coast. I lose track of them. Hold on, I'm gonna have to find out real quick. Ever since our boys, I think it is Beast Coast, yeah, came out, TI showed their powerful performances. I love to watch it. So, right now we have Infinity Esports versus Crewmates. This is the lower division, by the way, of Movistar Liga. So, we have in this game, a Brazilian team in the side of Crewmates versus the mostly Peruvian team of Infinity Esports. So that's exciting. And we're already well into the draft, and it's really interesting looking at this because, really non-traditional draft, at least as far as like the pro scene is concerned and what I see out of North American Dota. We see the Doom totally untouched in this banning phase, the Phoenix totally untouched. We do see a Tiny ban and a Nature's Prophet ban, which are both very common. But overall, it's definitely a little bit different than what we see out of the other regions. But that's exciting! You know, Dota's one of those amazing games where you get to see different teams and different regions have different philosophies when it comes to playing Dota. Definitely seeing some of that here. However, Crewmates do the traditional pick your carry for 4th pick, which is something that we see a lot nowadays with the amount of carries getting banned in the second phase. It is almost necessary. And just another reason why, honestly, second or last pick is so advantageous, because you get an early carry as well. Excuse me. But now we'll start to see some more bans come out, Phoenix being one of them. So, real quick, I haven't talked too much about the actual draft so far, but we have a Avenged Clock. So, that's a lineup that instantly has a lot of catch, a lot of save, into a Treant Lifestealer. Lifestealer, pretty good carry right now, and Treant is always just so good, it feels like. Even if he doesn't feel like a good hero in general, it always feels like he does pretty good. He always offers value to his team in sort of a similar way to a Crystal Maiden, where you just are always valuable.
5 seconds.
But now we see the more traditional cores being banned out. The Faceless Void is removed by Crewmates, not too surprising. Faceless Void does very well against Lifestealer. With that Chronosphere, an Ember Spirit removed by Infinity. Now, though, we have more non-traditional bans. So Infinity banning out the Invoker. Obviously, they don't have to ban carries, since Lifestealer is pretty clearly the position 1, so they'll take out the next most hero-dependent role, I'd say, at the moment at least. And Crewmates will take out the Slardar. We've seen very good things out of Slardar recently. He's a very powerful offlaner. So, not too surprising to see him get banned out, although it is a bit strange that it's a second phase. Crewmates will pick up the Lina. We'll have to wait and see if it's a 4 or a 2. Also, for those of you that were not aware, we're not able to cast from the lobby, unfortunately. thought I was going to, so that means that we won't get some of the advantages of the casting in lobby. Which means actually, real quick, just so I don't forget, there is no point for me to turn on my open mic because I'm not casting to Dota TV. I'm in the Dota TV. Most importantly means I won't be able to draw on the ground, so you'll have to see my horrific circles drawn from afar. From the mini. Say okay though. Ultimately doesn't make too much of a difference. The only thing is it does make finding the games a little bit of a hassle. And while we're here, I'll go ahead and do a check. I'm curious if yeah, see it doesn't it does say that's live. Okay. So never mind. Should hopefully not be too much of an issue. But yeah, since I'm now officially a community caster, it means that I don't have to have a delay on the cast. Because the community guidelines said no delay needed. Which means chat interaction. Probably mostly between games. I won't really be responding to chat in-game for obvious reasons. Want to keep the casts, pretty traditional casts. Crewmates will pick up the Sand King in response to the Leshrac, and shouldn't have gone out because there's an interesting bug with the lighting on Radiant side. No worries, though. So with that Sand King, such a good team fighting hero. It's another one of those offlaners that I'm really liking right now. The Sand King, the Mars, the Slardar, those are the big three that I really think of when I think of powerful offlaners right now. Now, Infinity Esports. Their pick, they have 35 seconds left of reserve time. I know it does not quite show it properly there. That's okay. And they will pick up the Juggernaut. A solid carry to be certain, and that's fixed the lighting bug as well. Juggernaut, as I always talk about, one of those very stable carries. He always kind of does good. There's never a Juggernaut game where you're hard countered by the enemy, particularly. Obviously, there's games where he's less effective, but, that sort of, if I had to, draw a graph of most effective to least effective, the level of impact, and, the best Jug game to the worst Jug game, I'd say it's a pretty tight graph, Obviously in pubs, it's a different story. In pubs, the Juggernaut can just take off and be unstoppable and just be a monster. But we don't have to worry about that in pro games nearly as much. Obviously, Jugs can carry the game, but generally he's more stable, less incredible highs, but also very few disastrous lows. And sometimes those heroes are good. Now, the other heroes I think of when it comes to that is a Jakiro. For, a support, it's a hero that's always going to get stuff done. You never really have to worry. But the final phase of bans have come out. We have, from Infinity, the brothers, the mid lane brothers themselves, all being banned out, with the Void Storm and the previous Ember Spirit ban. Crewmates banning out the position 3. And for their sake, I hope they are incorrect and it's a Clockwork 3, because that would probably make the game easier for them. But they do ban out the Doom, who is a very powerful hero, especially into Lifestealer. Lifestealer likes being able to use his abilities. I mean, most heroes do, but Lifestealer especially relies on that Enrage and also that Infest to really get stuff done. Which is, pretty hard to do when you have a Doom on the other team, but Infinity Esports will last pick up that Legion Commander. A solid pickup, in my opinion. A lot of tanky heroes, though, on the side of Crewmates here. Maybe hard to get those duels into anyone but the Lina. And if Legions don't get that good start, they kind of just turn into a stun and a purge, which is a little bit risky. Of course, this is just the group stage, so no worries of elimination or anything. But every play does matter. Every point does matter, especially for the side of. Actually, we're still very early in the group stage. So an early win. This is actually Crewmates' first game. We'll be casting 2 of them today. Infinity Esports right now are 1-0. So it will be exciting to see how they continue through this series here. We do have 2 Infinity series as well as 2 Crewmate series on the docket for today. Apologize for that bit of stutter. That is me alt-tabbing, which I know I probably shouldn't do, but a little bit of stutter for some accurate information is well worth it, as I am the one-man production studio here. We go into the last pick of Crewmates. Likely to pick up a mid lane unless they really want to run this Lina mid. And 10 seconds left on the clock for them. They do need something, preferably with a little bit of push here, to help them really secure their position in this game. And they will pick a Magnus. So not exactly known for being a pushing hero, but that will secure the Lifestealer some more farm. And that is going to be the analog Magnus, which means it is mid Magnus. Unsurprisingly. Oh, look at that Legion set. I don't know what Legion set that is, but that's kind of dope. But overall, the first game draft here, both of these lineups look very powerful, but I've got to say, I'm a little bit worried about this Legion commander. Legion doesn't have the easiest dual targets, and outside of the Omni Slash, there's not really incredible burst for the side of Infinity. So it may be hard for Valky here to get off to the start that he wants to get off to. And if he gets off to a bad start, it's going to be a 2-core into a 3-core. And the 3 cores of Crewmates are very, very scary in the mid to late game. Magnus obviously can do a lot. Sometimes falls off a bit, but unlike Legion, if a Magnus falls off, he's still an RP, which can win fights all on its own, especially with the combination of the Lina and the Sand King adding even more AoE lockdown. And obviously, Lifestealer is going to have a just fine game, I do have to imagine. I don't think he's that really afraid of a Clock Legion lane. The Treant might have to be a bit careful in this lane, but with such high base damage, I don't think he's going to be too terrified. And Clockwork might be able to cog him in, but if he's on the roots, he's going to be having a bad time. Either way, all of my predictions out of the way. I didn't really specifically go for one team or the other, but honestly, I'd say probably 55% over to Crewmates here in this game 1, just off of the draft alone. As Directed Camera tries to take over, it always does, and we have a pause! So let's go ahead and take a minute. I'm going to go ahead and look. So Crewmates came in through an open qualifier. Infinity Esports were a direct invite. So, in that sense, maybe the game evens out, just because, sometimes those games can really even out. Those direct invites can cause some disparity in the skill level, we'll say. And worth noting too, Infinity Esports is a team that we've seen a decent amount of. We saw them at the last tournament was the BTS Pro Series, which wrapped up in September, in which they did make it to the playoffs, but they were eliminated by Thunder Predators, who are in this tournament in the upper division. Let's go ahead and see if we can find anything. So it looks like there is going to be a play in the bottom lane here. Valky is going up top solo at the moment. Clockwork with the boots and the Venge with the jug. They may look for stun and battery assault and spin. Could definitely be a good kill. Potential lane. Look at this. Down in the bot lane. Everyone from Crewmates is going in. I love to see this kind of a play. This used to be really common back in the days. You'd smoke at the tier 2 with 5 people before bounty runes sort of became important. And honestly, it's coming back into favor, these early plays. I think teams are realizing if you make and win an early play, you're guaranteed 2 bounties. But right now, Infinity wisely just standing on the high ground. Hijack. Not going to be able to really find anything from this low ground. G-Pride. I'm going to guess his name is G-Pride. Let me just double check. Or am I a fool of myself? Hold on. Yeah, his name is totally different on the Wikipedia page, so I'm just going to roll with G-Pride for now. Or actually, it may just be G. It's the blue text. That's him setting up his. The Crucible of Greatness. Now, it looks like actually Radiant Infinity going to secure 3 bounties, as the commitment wasn't really there. And they're actually running an aggro. Okay, I like it. They're setting the Sand King up top. This is actually a full commitment from them. Right now, this puts Infinity in a good position with the bounty runes. Go ahead and think about this mid matchup a little bit. Both of these characters, both of these heroes, able to farm pretty well. Both of them able to farm the jungle decently as well, especially once Alone starts to get some more mana. But Analog has a lot of damage, and the cast range from Alone is not incredible. Honestly, I'm not the best with matchups in general, as I've said before, but I have a sneaking suspicion that this lane is going to go over to Magnus. I feel like we haven't seen a Lesh mid in a while, or at least not commonly in a while. We may have seen a 1 or 2 off game, but in general, it feels like it's not the most powerful hero. That being said, he's doing a very good job of harassing down Analog. But with that, a nice little splitter there to get the range retreat and some harass. With the Empower though, Analog will have ways to harass just by hitting those creeps. And down in the bottom lane, it's going to be interesting to see how this goes. So they've actually decided not to commit to the tri-lane. They've rotated the Lina up top, and they are making a go onto Flash's tree. He's going to TP away, and I have to imagine he'll get out. The only TP's back to the tower is relying on that increased regen from Nature's guys. But he's not even standing in the trees to get it. Either that or it's just not showing on the bar. The first blood is avoided. However, the pull will come out from Prada. So here's my issue. We can call him G-Pride, but everyone else is tagged up. Or other people are tagged up as G. But I'll just call him what his name is. It's not really anywhere. FCR just hits him with the open wounds, and that is enough to scare the Jug. Meanwhile, up top, Hijack is getting gone. The LSA, though, does connect. Hijack doesn't have anything, and will drop as the first blood to Valky. So, a very good start for Valky and exactly what he needs. As I have said, Legion commanders do need that good start to really get into the game. Meanwhile, in the mid lane, Alone has his bottle completed. And Magnus is sending out a bottle of his own. And is currently ahead on the region. And I miss in the bottom lane. FCR goes down, but Jug will fall in exchange. The bounty gets shared over. And honestly, sure, Jug's probably happy with the kill, but he's going to miss out on a lot of CS, an entire half wave, so probably not really worth it, as Lifestealer will still acquire that CS. So despite the fact that it's Jug getting a kill, since it's not the first blood, I don't know that it's really worth. Up we see Raykill has the Tranquil Boost completed. So both the Sand King and the Lina do have to be a little careful, as that attack speed, or that move speed, could allow him to get a kill. You see the 4-minute bounties flash moving to secure. Analog does have a push away, but actually won't be able to commit for the rune with it. So he will lose out on that rune trade. Could be costly. As so far, the Lesh is doing just fine. But honestly, so is the Magnus. So it's not really super concerning. It looks like they're going pretty even. Down in the bot lane as well, the Lifestealer is definitely winning out on the CS right now. But the Jug, not doing too bad himself either. I don't know about that pull. Looks like it's just going to be farm for FCR. Now, obviously, pulls the lane back for his Juggernaut, so you're never going to be sad about that. But actually, FCR and Flash, they're going in onto Prada. The roots are there, and FCR will definitely get the kill. And another 75 gold. It's not an insignificant chunk of change at this stage. Now it's up to G-Pride to try and take these bounty roots. He will not. Instead, he will look for the Treant's Courier. No. He'll be forced to walk away, and he will get nothing. Meanwhile, Raykill will drop. Valky has to be careful. Level 4 does not have any points in the overwhelming, or excuse me, in the press the attack. So, could be difficult if he gets gone on, as he will be relying on that counter-attack lifesteal. Moment of Courage. It's counter-attack. FCR takes a lot of damage. But the Treant heal is not there. No mana. Look at this. G-Pride just walks up and says, no, FCR, you gotta back yourself up. But now the Living Armor will come out with the combination of the Lifestealer. FCR should be just fine. It's very hard to make a go onto this Lifestealer due to that instant access to magic immunity. The real kill potential of this lane is the magic damage, as now Alone is taking a lot of damage, but he will survive, and Flash may actually pay with his life. Indeed he will. Prada gets the stun and the kill, and with the salve and the healing ward, Juggernaut will do just fine to pop himself back up to full HP. And it looked like a good attempt for Crewmates, but just didn't quite work out. Now we see Alone farming the jungle while his waves push. Then Analog will counter push the wave and go farm the jungle. This is the kind of trade-off I kind of expected here. As Analog does have a haste if he wants to make a move, but so far not electing to do so. Looks like Flash wants to get a ward down for potential rotations. I don't know if the Lesh is really a likely target for it, as G-Pride actually does take quite a bit of damage. And with those Nature's Grasp, Nature's Grasp, pull will be stopped. Man, now it's FCR's turn to just walk at this Juggernaut and tell him no. Down bottom, though, we have a rotation from Raykill putting down the Obs Ward. He's currently detected by the Obs Ward of Analog, so nothing will come from that. He'll just be forced to back off. As Flash tries to get some damage into G-Pride. Does have 2 levels in the living armor, so he's pretty tanky into these right clicks. Right now, the pace pretty even. Or actually, looks like it might be favoring FCR just a little bit here. As the stun comes out, but there's no real follow-up available. Jug does not have the ultimate just yet, but meanwhile in the mid lane, we do have a real fight, as Alone will go down to a 2-man rotation. Cafferdax, Caffertadix, Calf will secure the kill with the Dragon Slave, and that is a good kill for Magnus. Was forced to use the RP, and he's going into a damage-dealing build himself, so doesn't want to rely on just the Lifestealer for his team's damage, wants to be a contributing factor himself, and therefore will pick up the Echo Saber. Does have this Invis rune, and while he doesn't have access to the RP, he does have access to a Skewer back if the opportunity arises. Meanwhile, in the top lane, Sand King, Hijack, doing Sand King things. Just uses the Sandstorm to get himself whatever he wants. Interestingly here, so I'll go down bottom, make sure we don't miss a potential fight, but remain on Hijack. He's going for a straight Blink Dagger, deciding to be the raw initiation for his team, and skipping on the Veil, importantly, which is a very non-standard decision. Veil is pretty much always being built, as the fight is actually looks like going to break out in the mid lane, possibly. Analog has gone invis, and there isn't detection. Alone has to be careful, or he's going to get skewered back. Analog unfortunately misses, though, out of the invis. You hate to see it. But yeah, the Sand King is currently going straight into the Blink Dagger, dodging the Veil. Not necessarily a bad choice, like I just said. It's not the standard pickup, as G-Pride has actually tried to come in, but he's probably just going to spin this off, I have to imagine. I don't think there's really any risk of his death, as now Valky's coming in, does have the duel available, and is tanky, but it's not really going to be any potential for a kill, and now FCR is hunting for Prada. FCR will get stunned up, and meanwhile the tree dies in the mid lane to the combination of Alone and Ray kill. Runes coming up, though. It looks like it's going to go 2 for 2 with the DD heading over to Alone. This may actually help his push, because he has the Diabolic Edict ready to go. And that is a lot of damage into that tower. Fortifying as well. That tower is going to fall. There's a pushback onto Raykill and the RP. And he does a lot of damage. Doesn't even have a DD. Surprised he did so much damage. We'll go ahead and swap over to Net Worth. He is currently the leader, followed closely behind, but losing that mid tower early feels really, really costly. Path in a bit of trouble as Valky pressures, but not in too much trouble with that move speed. And the living armor availability, you know, it does provide 7 bonus armor at this stage, so that is a level 3 living armor, but still very hard to get gone. As now Analog forces Skewer away. The kill not going to come in. We do have bottoming push, but up top, Hijack might actually be in a bit of trouble. The dust is there, and it looks like they want to make a go, even pump fake that hook shot, but they're not going to be able to find this kill. Valky, though, does go in through the sideline. He gets off a duel, but there's no way that that's going to result in any damage, as the actual LSA comes out to even slow them down more. There's currently 5 heroes from the side of Radiant there. They take out the Lina, but Hijack gets away. And even if you get this tower, this is a big commitment of time for all of your heroes, as the swap does come out. So they will find Hijack as well, and with that, it'll probably be worth it. But oh no, Hijack, he wants to get a kill back of his own. Prada is forced to swap out, and that will ensure his survival. Hijack will fall. But at the same time, look at this excellent rotation from Crewmates to take out that mid tower in response. And Legion didn't get a duel. Looks like also going for that fast Blink Dagger. Or just saving money. But likely that Blink Dagger at this stage. Sand King, very close to the blink of his own. Only about 5 gold away. Flash has gone for the Yule's buildup. And they actually haven't even taken this tower yet, thanks to the living armor of Flash. And since they didn't take the tower, that tower is going to be a tower going back up to full HP at this stage. So a very costly rotation for them. It worked out. If they hadn't have gotten the kill on Hijack, it would have been a disaster. They did manage to get it. Doesn't really slow down his blink too much, and still electing not to go for that Veil. I have to wonder if somebody else is getting that pickup, because this feels like a very good Veil game. You have a Sand King, a Magnus, a Treant, and a Lina. That Veil amp damage would be powerful, but it looks like he's just electing to go for the Yules instead. It is a nice purge for Dust. Juggernaut farming up down bottom. Has the Yasha going back for the Battle Fury, so anticipating a long game. I'm not sure if that's going to work out in the favor of Infinity here, as the late game is very strong, but we don't have time for that. Down drops Sand King up in the top lane. The dual damage doesn't come out. Oh, that's because it wasn't used. Now will come out as they get the duel on to Cap. So Legion gets the first damage of the game and is electing to go back for that Battle Fury first. Now, the question is, will Flash be able to delay with that Nature's Grasp? It is quite a good spell, but no, this tower is falling far too quickly. The bonus armor will not save you against that Diabolic Edict, as, never mind, I'm wrong, it is physical. You learn something new every day you play the game. Magnus has finished up his Blink in addition to the Echo Saber now, though. So a timing starting to come up for Crewmates. Look at this Lifestealer. He's just going Armlet AC. Feels like there's a sort of middle item missing from that build, but it doesn't matter. A Blink stun onto the Legion, followed by a Blink skewer back. I don't think you're going to get saved. If the LSA does miss, not going to matter. The Shockwave will get Valky taken out. Press the attack. Will not save you there. But with that, Infinity will take their time to maneuver into Crewmates' jungle, get down a nice little observer ward there. Doesn't block the camp, which is honestly what you want, so that means you'll get more vision out of it. But we have an Infest in the Magnus. Can they find a lone up on the high ground going for the bounties? They have the ward. They will find him. The stun comes out. The hookshot onto the Treant is there, but that is definitely a very dead Leshrac, and look at that, clock just gets pushed out so that Flash isn't interrupted by the battery assaults. And Raykill will go down, and now a TP out is forced for G-Pride. He cannot stay in the field. Prada is in a bit of danger himself, but Hijack doesn't quite see it. And now, things quiet down again, but a very good fight for Crewmates.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Now, there's a nice little bait happening up top. Calf had the Magnus and the Sand King behind, but actually it looks like they want to make a play. They try and get the duel onto FCR, but it's not going to work out. Analog does have the RP. If he elects to use it, it actually will do so, but only onto the Venge. Valky will walk away. Prada tries to stun up, but will not be able to get out. Now, though, it's all down to the chase of Flash, but Flash doesn't have access to that Entangle, as it is still on cooldown. So that's honestly probably pretty good for the side of Infinity, as they only lose their Venge in exchange for an RP. It's not a bad trade-off at all. But I am a little bit concerned about these two cores for the side of Crewmates. They're farming up a storm right now. And this Magnus, he's going to have his BKB up soon, which will basically negate two of Infinity's heroes. He's actually already almost there. Working out very well for him. That ward, though, from Infinity is paying off as they see the Magnus. They have Very good vision around this bottom tier 1. And it looks like that's really where they want to be playing at the moment. Which is, and actually, the vision entirely for the side of Infinity is very good, as they have this, like, very big bubble of vision. Makes any rotations from Crewmates very easy to spot out. And actually, that sentry is in vision of this ward here. Will Flash find this other obs? It doesn't look like he will. So the vision is just superb. And now with that Infinity, we'll be able to freely siege this tier 1 tower. They know where pretty much all of Crewmates' heroes are. So they feel very safe here. As Crewmates are happy actually just to take a trade here. But they are pushing much slower. So a rotation may come in from the side of Infinity if they want to fight. However, it does feel like they're a little bit weaker at the moment. So they may elect not to do so. Fortification comes out. This tower will certainly fall. And the question is, will Dire come back for something? The answer is not yet, as he's just going to walk straight into Roshan. This is kind of the classic trade, and it looks like they will. This is a very old school style of trade. The bottom tier 2 for the Roshan. Usually, though, we see it as Radiant taking the Roshan in exchange for the tier 2, but now Infinity have rotated out. They're looking for something, but Analog is there. He doesn't manage to get the pullback, but that's not going to matter. And Lifestealer is still infested within Analog. This G-Pride is in on the back lines. Analog should know that something's up. No ping. But no, they'll just walk directly back into it. G-Pride in a good position. Not really expected to be here, as Clockwork is moving up for the hook shot. Go ahead and make a zoom out to blink in. The duel is there, but the RP to follow up. The Roche will fall. He just goes over to G-Pride. So far, very good for the side of Infinity, as they've already lost the Magnus and the Tree. FCR trying to run away, but he will fall as well. A beautiful engage into that Roche pit from the side of Infinity. Now Cap has to try and run away, but Valky is just going to block him up until Raykill or Alone can get some CC onto him. At this Raykill, he's showing no hesitation, trying to get in, but Calf doing a pretty good job of juking, but now the battery assault cogs are there. Calf will fall. 4 for 0, and an Aegis on the side of your Jug. A game that looked a little bit dangerous for Infinity now feels so firmly in their control, and they got the kill on the Aegis too. So really just the absolute perfect situation for Infinity. That's what you're hoping for when you go into these fights. They may even look to go up high ground, but we have a pause. Give me 1 second to get a drink of water. Alright, it looks like we are going back into things here. Alone's about to walk up this high ground and press W, I think. But Flash is going to go ahead and try and stop them. And It looks like Infinity aren't going to actually take the high ground right now. They're going to go ahead, rotate out, try and take a tier 2. But look at this. There is not any fear from the side of Crewmates. They still feel that they're stronger. And they may well be. Do have to worry about this Aegis from G-Pride. The tier 2 will fall, but Sand King, he's made an excellent initiation onto the Let's Track. He manages to get off the Essence Ring and is healing up pretty rapidly as he still is going to go down. It looks like he will. The Clock and the Lesh have both fallen, as well as the Legion Commander dropping down. FCR now on the chase for Prada. Juggernaut has gotten out. The Aegis wasn't even popped, as Lesh did have the Bloodstone to heal him up. But it wasn't quite enough. The Jug, though. G-Pride taking a minute to farm up, and that is a very good trade. They fight into an Aegis, and they trade 4 kills in exchange for just their Sand King. That's just a very tanky target, as he did, I believe, just have that Bloodstone delivered recently, as he was still not completed when he was pushing up on the high ground. So he will lose some charges. But Crewmates, importantly, showing that they are not a force to be trifled with. They're not just someone that you can walk up on right now. Hijack, next item, is going to be the Lotus. I have to be honest, this feels redundant. You know, you have the Euls as your sort of defensive item. I think you should have either the Euls or the Lotus, not both. But look at this, we have a 5-man rotation from the side of Infinity, but Flash has managed to catch him out, and now a big RP is dealing a lot of damage. The swap does come out from Prada, but I don't think it's going to be quite enough. There is a duel. I don't even know where the Legion went, and she goes down to the low ground. Lone pops the Bloodstone to heal himself up. Meanwhile, up on the top line, they managed to take out the tree. And so far, 3 dead for the side of Crewmates with the buyback of tree, and they will lose Analog as well. It looked really good for Crewmates, but Infinity, they're not to be trifled with either. As a really good setup onto the Lesh, Prada gets the perfect swap out save. Now it's all up to Hijack on this high ground. He's forced to walk away as Infinity, they just pop 2 of their blade mails. And that is Elena Rax for Infinity. They are rapidly starting to accelerate in this game, and this Legion Commander, despite only having 10 duel damage, you know, is a long-form stun, a long-form disable, a mini Doom. And, I believe in the last fight, she doomed the tree. It was really confusing because no one was in the duel circle. Now they set up for top. Look at this. I love confidence from Crewmates as they set up around this tower with Flash. He is very safe here. Looks like they will elect to back off and just hold the high ground. G-Pride going for the butterfly. Almost completed. Will be very hard to take down at that stage. Meanwhile, Calf going for a Euls. Really the only option available. Doesn't even finish off the Motherly Ghost. Will he go back? Yes. Ghost Mother will die. Prada securing this high ground for his team. However, there is a dire sentry ward. So if they get that high ground vision, they could deward it. Butterfly is completed for Juggernaut. He has taken over this network chart. As FCR, he feels a little underwhelming. You know, the Armor is obviously such a very good item, but the build up into the AC seems a little bit strange. But we don't have time to talk about that, as they're going to take out Flash. He will get the ward in consolation, worth almost as much as his life. But 55 seconds off of the field. Aegis has expired, obviously, at this stage, so G-Pride does not have that to rely on. But he doesn't care. He's going to walk up onto the high ground. The tree cuts from Analog aren't going to matter. And Valky will not be able to get the disable. Now, though, Analog could maybe look for something, and it looks like they are going to. A big RP, the pushback, so the Prada can't get the swap back. They'll lose the Jug. They don't get the tier 3. Hijack going forward, gets the Yule Scepter off. There isn't a pushback, but I don't think it's going to matter. As FCR comes out of the Magnus, that's a big set of kills for Crewmates. The BKB's been popped. I think that must have been a misclick, unfortunately, as there's nothing going on here. And he will hide in trees to make sure that Infinity do not know that it is on cooldown. Hijack forced to deal with the Vengeful Spirit Illusion. It's so tanky. It takes 150% damage. Which feels like a lot, but it always feels like this thing. That's still 1,000 HP to burn through. As the circles come out. Look at this. Actually, in the area are the side of Radiant. It looks like they're TPing back in with the Venge, probably with the Jug as well. Crewmates not in the best position to fight right now, but they are grouped up. With that Sentry, they won't quite catch the vision from the side of Infinity. Infinity will back off, seeing all 5 heroes on the side of Crewmates in the area. And they do not have their Juggernaut. That they will TP out. FCR, though, has his Basher completed, going for the MKB, forced to pivot out of that Abyssal to deal with the Juggernaut. Doesn't feel good, but it's absolutely the right decision. And now, Dire, man, they're so well grouped up, but this ward, this happens so often. It's one of the reasons why this ward spot is so excellent. Because look at the vision it is providing for them. They know everything right now on the side of Infinity. Obviously, they don't know literally everything, but they know everything they need to make a play. Sentries are just not quite hitting the right spot. The worst part is, too, look at how close the Sentry is. Oh, a ping out from Blue. Maybe he's detected. Clockwork has completed an Aghanim. So he has access to that secondary combo. It is quite powerful. Look at this. With this information, Infinity are unafraid, and it looks like they're going to make a maneuver into the Roche. They're going to take out the Lena's Courier. Crewmates know what's up, but they have to come through vision. As Roshan's rapidly falling, already down to half HP. And they need to make a play that lose Flash's Courier, but it gives them the information that they need. Importantly, Sand King looks like he may want to make an initiation play, but look at this backup from his team. Oh, but on the back lines, it looks like they might have gotten an excellent catch out onto Prada. The duel, though, has come out onto Lifestealer. Lifestealer will fall. Aegis goes down to the side of Radiant, and G-Prod will pick it up. A big RP, actually, only connecting onto one. Prada will live. And now Flash doesn't even have the chance to get the ult off. A 0 for 3. Calf will TP out. The Legion's there. The Split Earth isn't going to quite connect in time. But another disastrous roast for Crewmates. As Infinity will take this lane, and maybe even the game. 43 seconds without a life stealer. That's your hard carry gone. Right now, they're content to go for the top. Take that lane of barracks. Cap has to be very careful not to get hookshotted, as Raykill could initiate very soon. That overclocking is powerful, but still on cooldown, unfortunately. 15 seconds. The buyback from the Magnus is there. Doesn't have an RP for 70 seconds. The BKB, on the other hand, is almost off cooldown. Lifestealer coming up now. The tier 3s have fallen, but Lena is in a lot of trouble. Doesn't get hit with the Split Earth combo, actually, but there's Raykill to go in. But the initiation onto Prada. Prada will fall, but the duel instantly onto the Lifestealer. He is surviving for now, though, and actually will survive the duel, but they'll lose the Sand King. Has to buy back immediately alongside of the Lena. They're trying to take out the Legion Commander, will do so. FCR, though, about to fall. Doesn't have buyback. No carry left. Only the range racks remaining for Crewmates, and it will fall. But this has to be the big fight. Will they still try and play in? The Mega Creeps alone will pop the Bloodstone, heal, and he will be fine. Magnus will fall. GG is called. Infinity take game 1 of the best of 2. And they walk up high ground. Alone gets the Rampage. Affirmative indeed, Clockwork. Affirmative indeed. What a game 1. We will be back very shortly for game 2 here. As soon as it's up. I don't know when that's going to be. I don't know how long of a break there'll be. But I will return shortly for the second game.